Although this house has sold again, I am convinced it will come back on once the current buyer realizes the amount of work involved. In this video, I want to talk about a project we missed out on twice, which would have been mega. I saw this property come up on one of my alerts that I have set up on Rightmove. What initially attracted me to this property was that it looked tired and dated from the photos. In the description, it said ideal project or development opportunity. When I first looked at the floor plans, I was trying to see if I could convert this house into 4 apartments. The 4 apartments I knew would need to have the following: at least 148 square meters. The size of this property was 146.9 square meters, so there was scope. 4 parking spaces. Now, there was space either side of this property, so I could have created 2 spaces to the left and 2 spaces to the right. When I viewed the property needed a lot of work. The pictures made it look okay, but on the viewing, it was quite clear to see everything needed to be taken back to the original brickwork, and the property needed a complete refurbishment, including new roof, new windows, new doors, new rear extension, complete clear out of the garden. The garden was massive and there was so much in there. We did offer on this property. It was a low offer, but it reflected the amount of work the property needed. The fact that we were going to be in a really good position and buying on a bridge, unfortunately, our offer was rejected. The house was sold to an owner-occupier who wanted to take on this as a project. A few weeks later, we received a call to say the sale wasn't progressing very well and would we like to reconsider our offer. I realized I'd missed something vital in the information. I had a brainwave. Why don't we convert the house back into 2 houses and then make them big enough so that we could convert them into 3 flats each? That's 6 flats in total. Our plan was to put in for planning permission to have the house converted into 2 separate houses, with each house being at least 120 square meters, with 3 parking spaces per house. Given that the house was originally 2 separate houses, we couldn't see any reason why we would be turned down from a planning perspective. Each house would have been worth at least £530,000. Check out the sold comparable you're seeing now online. So the total GDV would have been around the £1 million mark, at least, which in itself would have been a great project. As 6 flats, the GDV would have been £1,350,000, and we would have designed the initial houses in such a way that splitting them into 3 flats would have been easy down the line. Unfortunately, even though we offered full asking for the property the second time round, the owner decided to go for another home buyer rather than an investor developer. Sometimes people want to sell their house to an owner occupier and not an investor or developer, or anyone that intends to rent the property out, as they have an emotional attachment to the property or don't want to upset their neighbours. Although this house has sold again, I am convinced it will come back on once the current buyer realizes the amount of work involved. So fingers crossed we get a call asking if we are still interested. Hell yeah.